to Beatrice to cover the people viewing the eclipse. He's back now with not only great photos and video, but also a great story about patience, Steve.
That's right. What an amazing day it was. Take a look. This is an image of what we saw today. Amazing. But don't take my word for it. We met a woman in her 70s. Her name is Kate Murphy, and she has plenty to say about the day.
I saw totality. With all these clouds, I saw totality.
It's something she's been waiting for since she was 8 years old.
I absolutely loved when you look out at the horizon, you knew you were in the moon's shadow. It's such a different experience than when I was a child.
Kate Murphy was there on an otherwise overcast day, but the clouds broke at the perfect time at 1:02 p.m. totality.
I just thought it was absolutely fascinating. You know, I've always had an interest in science and, astronomy, and this just, inspired me to keep, looking out and learning more about it.
It left many in awe.
It was partly the excitement of the crowd and seeing everybody get so excited about something happening in the natural world and everybody just thinking about the same thing at the same time. And so that was part of it, but then just also kind of gives you an idea of your place in the world and how tiny we really are.
As for Murphy,
this is a memory forever, and I'm determined to see 2024.
In 2024, that's another total solar eclipse.
Some say it's a version of Disneyland for investors. To shop, to learn, to shop some more. This all happens at the first day of the Berkshire Hathaway's annual shareholders meeting. Thousands of people make their way to Omaha, like Courtney Henderson, who made the trek from Destin, Florida.
We are very interested in investing and just kind of learning as we're getting older and trying to kind of plan our future.
Henderson says the Berkshire share was a Christmas present for her and her fiancé.
So we wanted the opportunity to see Warren Buffett speak in person, and this was the most affordable way to make that happen.
It's incredible the amount of variety of different businesses that Berkshire Hathaway owns.
If it's picking up rubber ducks from Oriental Trading or an ice cream from Dairy Queen, 7-year-old Connor was going for the jackpot.
Okay, so we have got these Jello things of Warren and Charlie, as you see there right here.
Others caught a glimpse of Warren Buffett's partner, Charlie Munger, and tried to catch the Oracle himself at his home in Dundee.
Kind of turned in what some companies see as a very boring business meeting into quite an event.
Well, it's fun for me because I kind of just get to just look around and just get to know some stuff.
Do you hope you can come back?
Yes.
I don't even want to ride the bus anymore.
15-year-old Micaiah Mitchell says she rides a bus like this to and from school every day. After seeing this crash,
it was crazy because I ride a bus, so it scares me a lot.
Omaha police say a driver and 3 high school students were on this bus. Police say the driver was trying to make a left turn. That's when police say this car hit the bus. 4 people were inside and all were taken to a hospital. Police say one of them has some pretty bad injuries. Neighbors tell me there are far too many accidents on this stretch of road, and they'd like to see the city install something like a stoplight to help control people speeding.
Slow down and be more careful.
That's the advice school bus driver Rex Larison now has for everyone. He pulled over to see what happened.
I'm more concerned for the students, of course for the drivers and, the adults, of course.
It's a reminder to him to keep himself and his students safe.
Drive defensively and pay attention to what I'm doing. Try to be alert.
As for Mitchell,
I just send prayers to everybody.
In Omaha, Katie Blaze, Fox 42 News. You wouldn't think a gardening tool like this would be of much use to a pile of dirt like that, but this is exactly what Omaha firefighters used to help dig out a man who is trapped 8 feet below the ground.
Very frustrating, very strenuous, very taxing physically, but that's what we do.
Kevin Machete says he knew this was going to be a difficult rescue. He spent several hours Tuesday helping a sewer worker trapped in a trench.
One little scoop shovel at a time is what it took, and that's what we continue to do.
While emergency crews go through training to deal with these situations, there was much to worry about in the 20-degree temperatures.
Except now, our hands are lower, And when we're digging, the potential for your hands to go numb increases.
Machete says he was in that 12-inch wide hole upside down for close to 40 minutes.
Their heads were laying on top of Mr. Johnson the whole time. It was just a very, very challenging and very, very dangerous trench to be in.
The 23-year-old man was eventually pulled out and brought to safety.
We worked hard, we worked tirelessly, and relief that not only for us, but for him, he's free from this entrapment.
Now, it took more than 6 hours to get the man out, but emergency crews tell us he is expected to be okay. In Omaha, I'm Maria Thompson, Fox 42 News.
A man who shot and killed an Omaha mother and her 2-year-old daughter will now spend his life in prison. A judge sentenced Dontavius Lloyd to at least 300 years behind bars. The shooting happened a year ago at a West Omaha apartment complex. As Fox 42's Maria Thompson reports, the victim's mother says this is just the first step to closure.
For the family of Destacia Strong, the Douglas County Courthouse will always be a bittersweet place. It's where they faced their daughter's killer and finally found some peace.
Some nights it's hard for me to breathe.
Stacy Strong could barely get the words out.
Dontavius Lloyd, a monster, stole almost everything except my love of Christ.
Strong's 22-year-old daughter and young granddaughter were murdered by Destacia's boyfriend, Dontavius Lloyd.
This part of Dontavius Lloyd is finished, but I feel like others have to answer to.
In December 2015, Lloyd shot and killed Strong and 2-year-old Kenesha at her apartment complex in West Omaha. Lloyd also shot 3 of Strong's friends that same night.
He could have been taken to jail earlier that day, but instead was left to spread terror on the city of Omaha.
He turned himself in the next night. In the days that followed, friends grieved.
There are people that are hurting all around us.
And the 2-year-old's father left in nothing but tears.
I woke up this morning screaming for my daughter.
Stacy Strong says she only met Lloyd once.
At that time, I asked him to never lay a hand on them.
While Lloyd will remain in prison the rest of his life, Strong says her steps to closure have only just begun.
And that he has years to think about the pain and hurt that he has done to me and my family and other children.
Maria Thompson, Fox 42 News.
Lloyd was given 2 life sentences plus.
This is sad.
It's the reaction of those who live and work in the area. Take a look at the scene of a deadly crash. This is on Highway 34 in La Platte. A pickup truck and a tractor-trailer truck crashed Monday morning. Police say Randy Strobe in the pickup died on impact. Police also identified the driver of the tractor-trailer truck, 37-year-old Nathan Jongalin of Omaha. He was taken to the hospital, not badly hurt. Police say the semi was heading toward Iowa on Highway 34. The pickup truck turned off Harlan Lewis Road and into the path of the tractor-trailer. Mary Davey runs a truck company nearby. She says this area can be dangerous.
It's a 65-mile-an-hour zone when you cross that bridge, and the speed drops fairly fast. And if the truck pulled out in front of the semi, sadly, there isn't anything that probably could have changed.
The crash closed down Highway 34 for hours. It backed up traffic. It's something we caught on our dash cam earlier. Davey says the area has been under construction for a while and can be confusing to drivers.
But if we had better pavement markings, better road signs, I think it would help. But lack of shoulder, lack of a lot of places to get turned around limits options.
Today.
Getting to the Great American Solar Eclipse was no easy task, but well worth the effort. Our trek started Sunday afternoon. Photojournalist Eric Green and I drove from Omaha to Beatrice. It was smooth sailing. When we got to the campground, we set up our tent and met some of our fellow travelers.
This is something that I've been planning on coming to for quite a while.
The next morning, before the cows even got up, we got up to head to Homestead National Monument, just like many others.
We drove late into the night last night, slept in the car at a campground here, and then showed up early this morning.
Then it was a waiting game with some famous faces.
I've been through 3 partials in my lifetime, but never totality.
At 1:02 p.m., that's when the clouds broke and totality hit.
I literally broke out in tears when the clouds cleared and we could see that sun and the corona around it. It was so beautiful.
Beatrice Chamber of Commerce says the community more than doubled in size on the day of the eclipse. That's more than 20,000 people in all. 70 planes touched down at its airport, which typically has around 30 touchdowns a day. At Homestead National Monument, management estimates 13,000 to 15,000 people were in the park. The drive back to Omaha was a whole different story. These are shots taken by Nebraska State Patrol. There were heavy delays on most of the back roads and I-80 past Lincoln. What was usually a 2-hour drive took us 4. Still, it was all worth it to see a bit of astronomical history that produced some spectacular views. Steve Saunders, Fox 42 News.
Nebraska State Patrol says the traffic trouble spots were not just around Beatrice. After the eclipse, cars were backed up statewide. NSP did not give out stats on crashes and traffic tickets. It says it is still collecting that info.